Welcome to Sweet Tea with Coach Key.
No slime, no grime.
Straight sugar. Real life stories of inspiration, perseverance, and prosperity. I hope you have your teacups ready. We have the sugar.
Welcome to Sweet Tea with Coach Key. I am your host, Coach Keisha Austin, and yes, let's get into it. So, of course, it is 2019. I'm so excited about the new year and all the great things that are to come. But last night, in particular, was a great kickoff to 2019. Excuse me. I had an amazing opportunity to start back teaching a class that I taught last year. Now, I love facilitating, but I've always had this huge fear of being in front of people and talking. That is a thing of the past now, and I just love facilitating. So last night I facilitated a class, and at the end of the class, I didn't even ask for feedback, but I was provided with some feedback about the class, and I am going to share. One of the things that the lady said was, more than just me, this message needs to be heard by more people than just this room. What you just said blessed me so much that more people need to hear it. So I kind of felt like that was, an obligation that I had to, that I took on, that I need to make sure that, I spread this word, and I make sure that, someone else is facing a similar issue, that they are encouraged, and, they know how to move forward with the situation. So this is how it all started. One of the class participants spoke up, and she said, I don't like people. I just do not like people. I am my only child. I've always been by myself. I love my personal space, and I just do not like people. So I listened, of course. I pride myself on being a great listener. And I also love hearing about, the way that people feel, the way that people think, the way that people live their lives and go about doing different things. I love to hear about this. So when she was talking about the fact that she didn't like people, etc., 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 I listened, and then I shared with her my personal experience with that. And what I shared with her is it ties into my Powerful Relationship series that is available on my website, and it is powerful. It is powerful. It ties into, it helps you to transform your relationships from being mediocre, draining, and toxic into powerful relationships with people. And it talks about the relationship with yourself, your family, your friends, and God. So when she said she didn't like people, I immediately went into my own experience with people and being at that point also. And what I shared with her is, previously, one, I was the problem. The way that I went about relationships contributed to my toxic lifestyle and the toxic friends and the toxic people that I surrounded myself with. I was toxic. I was toxic to myself. I was toxic to my future. Come on, somebody. I was toxic to my prosperity. So how else could how else do I expect everyone else to be? Because this is what I was. I was attracting, what I was. And that's exactly what I got. So to say that, someone doesn't support you, I didn't support me. Somebody doesn't believe in you, I didn't believe in me, So why is it that I think I'm going to draw these incredible people to me when I didn't even treat me like I was worthy of greatness, of love, of loyalty? So once I started to do that assessment, another thing, I told her that I got tired of cutting people off. Why can't we go from different phases in our life together? You hear about people who have been friends with their friends since 5th grade and since, middle school and high school. And here they are 60, 70 years old, been friends for 15 years. Why is it that each different phase of my life, I have to cut somebody off? And I realized that I was the root of that problem. It was because of me. It wasn't because of them. It was because of me. Excuse me. And I realized that I was moving too fast in my relationships. I did not give enough time for our relationships to ramp up and for us to genuinely get to know each other, to know about boundaries, know about our values. And we had a couple things in common. And girl, you was my friend and we was going out, we was doing this and we was doing that. But no, good relationships, powerful relationships take time. With a friend, if you're rebuilding or building with a family member that you don't know, a spouse, anybody, a coworker, with my clients, I don't just dive right in for them to tell me their life story and expect for them to trust me right away. You have to build rapport. At the beginning of a coaching relationship, it's just a formality that you're going through. Eventually, it becomes a connection and a true relationship, a lifelong relationship in most cases. So, I explained to her that I would rush in relationships with people. I would take on friendships and invite people into my personal space for all the wrong reasons. And she was like, it bothers me to see a person, smile in someone's face and then turn around and then talk about them to someone else. And I explained to her, she was like, I don't want nothing to do with nobody like that. I would not talk to them. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. And I explained to her, I said, I would talk to that person. I would say hello, good morning, good evening. I would probably ask how their day was, and I would continue on with my life because it's levels. Everyone that I meet does not get an intimate experience with me. And that is facts. 100%. It's levels. It's certain people in my life who do not have the power to hurt me, to offend me, to move me. It's the people in my life who do have that power don't even use it. And that's why they have the power. When we think about the people who God appoints, he appoints people, and put them in a place of, power because they are trusted with having that power. It's a great responsibility to have power, dominion over a territory. And currently, if that were to happen, if someone in my life were to occupy that high space, that high place, and they began to abuse that power, they would then be demoted. Period. It doesn't have to be a cut off, don't talk to anymore. It could just be a cordial good morning, hey, how you doing, and goodbye. And you won't receive any personal information about my life. It doesn't have to be an end all be all because someone isn't qualified to be at that top tier of your life. That does not mean that they cannot be in your life, period. Let's take an ex for an example. If you know that you and a guy that you're dating, were not able to move to the level to being, officially dating, committed to one another. And this cannot get to that point. You may have to reconsider his level in your life. Every time he calls, you text right back. Every time he texts, you text right back. Every time he calls, you answer the phone. How is your day going? You're sharing intimate details about your day. That may be something that you may want to reconsider for someone who does not appreciate the position. If you are not doing everything that is required of this position in my life, then I am left with a management obligation to demote you. And it's not a negative thing. It's so positive because making that transition, it changes the expectations that you have of other people, the expectations that they have of you, because I am not this to you and you are not this to me, but we are this to one another. And it eliminates all the gray area and it prevents you from getting hurt. A lot of times people do not have their parents in the top tier because the relationship with your parents may be shaky. It may be toxic. It may not be something that you can deal with every day. So you may talk to your parents maybe once a month or maybe every couple days, or you don't share intimate details of your life with your parents because that can turn into a toxic relationship or a toxic conversation or a unpleasurable experience. So there's certain levels. You share certain things and you allow people to go in certain rooms of your life. Everybody should not occupy the same level in your life. Their are levels. And I think that this would eliminate a lot of confusion and a lot of cutting people off and a lot of heartache, knowing that expecting something from someone that's on a certain level is unrealistic. Because one, you're not providing it to them, or should not be providing it, because they're not willing to offer that to you. So I encourage you to take an analysis of your life and see what you're putting out, what you're getting in, where your frustration lies, and really see if the people who have the power to hurt you are worthy of having that power in your life. It is your life. God gave you the power to shut the door and open it, you know? So you have the power since day one. You had the power, you know, to determine what level people are on in your life, to determine what impact they have. And another thing that I mentioned to this young lady is she said about, I don't like people, and you know, and I mentioned to her that their life is hard enough. Life can be very, very hard. And I don't encourage anyone to go through life alone. And I had that mindset that I didn't like people and I like being alone. You know, I do enjoy my alone time. I think that there needs to be a healthy balance based on your own capacity. However, the people that I have in my life, they speak life into me. They encourage me. They challenge me to do things that are aligned with my destiny and my purpose. As opposed to the people that I had in my life in the past would question who you think you is and what you think you gonna do, and you know what you did, and I don't have to live that. Excuse me. And it's not because these people that I currently have on higher levels in my life or consider to be more intimate, in a more intimate space with me. It's not because they don't know, because I'm very transparent about my past with them and, you know, my clients, my audience, everyone, you know. I'm not ashamed of the things that I've done, but I have a different caliber of person, you know, that I spend my time with, that I share my life with, my children and my family and my home, you know. So in order to get to that place and in order to attract those type of people, I had to present myself as friendly. And the Bible speaks about that. In order to, you know, have friends, you must appear friendly. No one is going to be, you know, going to want to spend time with you and be in the presence of you if you are negative. You know, you're not going to attract positive, you know, in most cases, positive people if you have that negative energy and you're very guarded by the hurt. Do not allow your past to have dominion over your present and your future. Allow yourself to be renewed. Ask God to renew your spirit and see life for today and have be optimistic about your future. Okay? All right. So I feel like I have got it pretty much out. Of course, it was much more lengthy in the class, which I love, and I cannot wait to meet with the ladies again next week. If you have any questions or concerns, or if you would like to be featured on my podcast, please send me an email, support@CoachKeishaAustin.com. You can also find me online at KeishaAustin.com, Facebook and Instagram, Coach Keisha Austin. Keisha is spelled Kesha. You have a wonderful week and take care.